Welcome to Deep Bear Sleep. There is a house at the edge of a meadow. It sits quietly, the way old houses do, as if it has learned over many decades that there is no need to announce itself. Its stone walls have softened in the way that stone eventually does, worn smooth by years of rain and sun and the slow, patient passing of seasons. A wooden porch wraps around the front of it, and on that porch there is a chair. A wide, low chair with thick cushions the color of cream, slightly faded from summers gone by. This is where we find her. Her name is Evelyn, and she is sitting in that chair as the evening settles in around her. She is not doing anything in particular. She has set down her book. It rests on the small table beside her, open to a page she may or may not return to. She has finished her tea. The cup is there too, empty and warm. The day has wound itself down the way days do, and Evelyn has let it go. She has simply let it go. The meadow in front of her is turning gold. Not the bright, insistent gold of midday, but something gentler than that. The long grass has caught the last low light of the evening and is holding it, swaying a little in a breeze so faint you could almost miss it. Soft, unhurried, the kind of movement that asks nothing of you except that you notice it. Evelyn notices. She draws a slow breath in through her nose. The air smells of warm earth and something green and faintly sweet. Clover, she thinks. Or maybe wild thyme. It grows along the edge of the porch steps, and she has never tried to remove it. It has always felt like it belongs there. She exhales. Her shoulders drop a little, the way they do when you stop holding yourself up against something that isn't there anymore. The sky above the meadow has begun to shift. The pale blue of late afternoon is deepening now, pulling toward something softer. A blue that is almost gray, almost lavender, almost the color of the inside of a mussel shell. A single bird crosses the sky, unhurried, its wings making long, easy arcs. It does not seem to be going anywhere in particular. It seems simply to be moving through the air because the air is there, and because moving through it feels good. Evelyn watches until it disappears over the tree line. She had a full day. That much is true. There were phone calls and small decisions and one conversation that sat in her chest a little longer than she would have liked. There were things on the list that got done and things that didn't. There were moments of grace and moments of friction, the way a day always holds both. But that was then. This, the porch, the meadow, the cooling air, the pale stars just beginning to appear at the very top of the sky. This is now. And in this moment, nothing is required of her. She lets herself feel that, really feel it. The strange, quiet luxury of not being needed anywhere, of having arrived for this particular hour at the end of something. The day has been what it was. She has been what she was. And there is a peace in that if you let yourself find it. Evelyn lets herself find it. She shifts a little in the chair, settling deeper into its cushions. The wood beneath her sighs a small, familiar sigh. She has sat in this chair hundreds of times. Her body knows it the way it knows a few very important things. The weight of sleep, the feel of familiar hands, the temperature of home. Out in the meadow, the fireflies are beginning. First one, then three, then more than she can count, rising in slow, soft arcs from the grass, blinking their gentle lights in no particular pattern. There is no urgency in them. They are not signaling anything important. They are simply there, in the almost dark, making small, private lights for no reason except that this is what they do. Evelyn has always loved fireflies. There is something about them, the way they exist so fully in this one particular kind of moment. You cannot see a firefly at noon. You cannot rush them into appearing. They come when the evening is ready for them and not before. And there is a lesson in that, she thinks, though she holds the thought loosely. Not as something to figure out, just as something to sit with. The breeze moves through the tall grass again. A long, slow wave travels from one side of the meadow to the other, the way a thought sometimes moves through you. Not sudden, not urgent, just present for a moment and then gone. She breathes in. She breathes out. Above her, the first stars are properly visible now. Not the hundreds that will come later, but the first brave ones. The ones that don't wait for full dark, that show up while there is still light in the sky and trust that they will be seen anyway. She finds herself grateful for them, grateful for their persistence, grateful that they are there every single night, whether she thinks to look for them or not. Something unknots in her chest. It happens without her trying. It happens the way good things often do, not because she forced them, but because she stopped doing everything else, and there they were. The tightness that had lived just beneath her sternum all through the afternoon simply releases. Not with drama, not with revelation, just with the slow, honest simplicity of an evening that is asking nothing of her. She is enough.
She is enough for this night. She was enough for this day. Not perfect. She would not claim perfect, but enough. Sufficient. Present. Real. She showed up in the ways that mattered. She tried in the ways she knew how. She fell short in a few places, and that is the truth of being human, and not a reason to lie awake cataloging herself. The meadow does not judge her. The fireflies do not keep score. The stars do not ask for her credentials before they shine. She smiles at this. A small smile, private and unhurried. A cricket begins somewhere close by, then another farther off. Within a few minutes, there is a whole slow chorus of them, that ancient, constant sound that belongs to summer nights the way certain smells belong to certain rooms. It is a sound she has known since childhood. It does not mean anything beyond itself. It is simply the sound of the living world, singing its one long, patient note into the dark. Evelyn closes her eyes. Behind her lids, the fireflies still blink, their light pressing gently through. Or perhaps that is only memory now. It does not matter. The image is there either way, the soft, scattered light of small creatures in a darkening field, going about the quiet business of being alive. Her hands rest loose in her lap. She is aware of her own breathing, the rise and the fall, the ease of it. She is not breathing for any reason tonight. She is not breathing to calm herself or prepare herself or arrive somewhere. She is breathing simply because she is here, and here is where breathing happens. The night air has cooled another degree. She reaches for the light blanket she left draped over the arm of the chair. Soft, well-worn, the cotton gone thin in a few places from years of exactly this kind of use. She draws it over her lap. It settles around her like something familiar and kind. From somewhere deep in the tree line, an owl calls once. The sound floats out over the meadow and disappears. Evelyn does not know how long she sits like this. Time has gone soft at the edges, the way it does when you are not watching it, when you have stopped measuring what is left or calculating what comes next. The evening has become its own country, and she is a willing resident of it, comfortable with its customs, fluent in its language of silence and breath and the slow turning of the dark. When she eventually opens her eyes,
The sky is deeply blue.
The fireflies are still moving through the grass, though fewer now. The meadow has gone quiet in its shapes. The detail has left the grass and the tree line, and there are only soft suggestions now, outlines, presences rather than particulars. The world at this hour asks you to see it differently, not with precision, with feeling. She feels it. She feels the fullness of the evening around her, the generous and unhurried fullness of it. The way the dark has arrived without announcement, without permission asked, simply present now because it is time for it to be present. There is something restful in that, the inevitability of it. The night always comes, and in the night you are allowed to be unfinished, unpolished. You are allowed to close the book and set down the cup and simply be a person in a chair in a meadow at the edge of the dark. You are allowed to be enough. Evelyn breathes in once more, deep and slow, and lets the breath carry the last small remnant of the day out of her body. It goes without struggle. It was ready to go. It had been ready for a while. She rises from the chair with the unhurried ease of someone who has no reason to rush. The blanket falls back over the arm. Her hand rests on the porch railing for a moment, the wood smooth and cool beneath her palm. The meadow stretches out below her in the blue dark, the fireflies winking their small lights, the cricket chorus steady and calm. She looks at it all for one more moment. Then she turns, and she goes inside. The door closes softly behind her. Inside, the house is quiet the way a house is quiet when it is inhabited by someone who knows how to inhabit it. Warm in all the right ways, dim in all the right places. The lamp in the hallway gives off a low amber light. The floors are worn and familiar beneath her feet. Everything is where it has always been. She moves through the house the way water moves through a known channel, not thinking about it, just moving because the body knows the way. Down the hallway, past the bookshelves with their accumulated years, past the photographs that hold the faces she loves, into the room at the back of the house, the quiet room, the room where the window looks out toward the meadow and at night you can sometimes hear the owls. The bed is there waiting for her, not as a challenge, not as a place where the mind races and the dark grows heavy, just as a bed, soft, familiar, pulled back on one side as if it has been expecting her. The pillow is cool against her cheek. The blanket settles over her with a weight that is just right. Outside, the meadow goes on. The fireflies go on. The crickets go on. The owl calls once more from its tree, and the sound drifts through the open window, across the room, and fades. Evelyn's breathing slows. The day releases her, finally and completely. All of it, the effort and the worry and the small accumulated weight of it, lifts away like mist rising from a field in the early morning. Light, gone, as if it were never really hers to carry. Because she is enough. She was always enough, and the night knows it. The meadow holds her gently in the dark, the fireflies still moving through the grass like small, unhurried thoughts, blinking and blinking and blinking until even they grow still. And she sleeps. She sleeps the way a person sleeps when they have set down every unnecessary thing. Deeply, quietly, without resistance. The stars move slowly overhead as they always do. The meadow breathes. The house holds its warmth around her. And in the soft blue dark, everything is exactly as it needs to be. For more episodes, visit deepbearsleep.com.